Hello everyone and welcome to the Air Goddess Network. I am the Air Goddess and welcome to my channel. I'll be pulling for the week of October 30th to November 5th. And during this week coming up, we have actually today on the 30th, we have Mars going retrograde in Gemini, and it's also going to be a lot of your communications, how you go forward with that. It could be something as simple as seeing one side and then all of a sudden now you got this other thing coming in. Your car could start acting a little funny because it's Mars in action. You want to go, but you can't because of traffic. Things like that. You may be thinking that you have to do one thing and now you have to do something completely different, or slow down or review that thing that you were thinking about doing because you have to do a little bit more research as it pertains to that thing that you're wanting to do. And it's an Aries degree, so there's that. Mars, Aries, there it is. So we'll be using the Good Tarot to get our reading, and then to see how the energy ties in our advice, we're going to be using the Energy Oracle deck by Sandra and Taylor. So I hope you all had a great weekend, that you had time to spend with your family and friends, and it's Sunday, so whatever you were thinking about doing, you're going to probably end up being a lot more social, or maybe, depending on how you're aspected or what's going on around you, depending on the circumstances, you may be doing a little less socializing because, you're thinking twice about doing that thing, going to that place, things like that. So either way, if you've been doing a lot of socializing lately, then you might want to slow down and just, have your siblings around, or maybe see about your siblings, because Gemini also rules siblings. If you're in your neighborhood, you might go check on your neighbors a little bit more than you normally would, or your neighbor could be coming to check on you, things like that. So you could be thinking about doing something for a school or something like that. That might be coming up. You might be planning on that. Maybe there's a schedule that you were going to do something, but now you need to do a little bit more research, learn a little bit more about it before you do the thing. So either way, like I said, don't be afraid of any retrograde, because all that planet is asking us to do is to slow down, to reevaluate, to take a second look, maybe not do something as quickly as you thought you were going to be able to do it. So it's not that you're going to, you may encounter some issues with your technology because you want your computer to go a little bit faster. But maybe in order for you to do that, you have to go buy the thing that makes your computer go a little bit faster, that RAM. Okay, so now you have to go back and you have to do the research to find out what exactly, what type of RAM do you need as it pertains to the type of computer that you have. You just can't go out and buy it. And some people make that mistake, which means that they have to go back and reevaluate and say, wait a minute, I thought, but now I have to do this instead. Oh my gosh. So just slow down, do your research, whatever it has to deal with, and know that at the end of it all, you'll come out better situated, better prepared to do the thing that you're wanting to do. So it's in Gemini. So take a second look at that situation. Take a second look at that car that you might want to buy. Take a second look at that thing that you want to do before you just go out and do it without having everything you need in order to do the thing. So let's go ahead and get our card. Let's see what we have to work with this week with this Mars in retrograde in Gemini starting. So let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with here. So we have our first card. We have the Moon card. And just so you know, Mars comes out of retrograde. It goes direct on January 12th, and it will be in Gemini. So then, like I said, we're going to go back to being in the same sign, and then you'll be able to go forward. So like I said, then you're going to have some time to review those things that you want to do, get more information, slow down on the information. Maybe you got too much information and you need to go reevaluate what you already have. And if you haven't gotten enough information, then what you're going to find yourself doing is going to get it. So either way, it's going to be there until about January 12th, and it'll be direct in Gemini at 8 degrees. And here's our second card. 8 degrees will be Scorpio energy, and that's going to make sure that you have gotten everything you need, especially under the surface. You know, sometimes we don't get enough information. It might have to do with inheritance. It could have to do with joint venture that you're possibly going to be involved with. It could be having to do with your relationship as far as how you interact, how you, you know, talk to your significant others, things like that. So make sure that you're getting all your information. But like I said, we have this moon card. Okay, and that is Pisces energy. Okay, so what we might be dealing with is, again, you know, feelings, intuitions, things like that. Something where we have to think, we have to go in deeper. And with the woman in the full moon, you see it's a full moon. When it's a full moon, okay, the shadows are a little bit more prevalent than what they would be, because you have that sun reflecting off the moon and giving us shadows that would normally be there. So we have to be a little bit careful. And it's not to say that those shadows aren't the same thing you see when it's daylight outside, right? So we know the building is there. We know the tree is there. We know that the light is there. But the shadow that it's casting, it can make us fearful. It can make us afraid. It can make us think twice. Maybe if we feel like we're being lied to about something. It's all it's doing is saying, be cautious, be careful of where you're stepping, what you're being told, what you're telling people. Don't make things bigger than they have to be. I mean, just be straight. Get straight to the point and tell people things, so that they can make a better decision, okay? Because with that moon, with that Mars going into retrograde and this moon card coming out, it's like saying, get to the point, but don't make it bigger than it has to be. Don't give information that is not necessary. Because sometimes when somebody gives you too much information, it's harder for you to make a decision, right? Or it's harder for you to do a thing because you got so much information and you don't know what to take, how to take it, when to take it, where to take it. So if you are the one, this could be the energy around you. It doesn't have to be you. It could be someone around you, male, female, they. But at the end, it's about, if you're going to tell somebody something or you're disseminating information, then don't give too much information where the person is now put in a situation where now they've got to possibly deal with information that's not necessary, or that has nothing to do with the issue or the situation or the task that is at hand. Okay, so be mindful of that. And if you are not that person, it's just the energy someone's telling you that, then you have to be able to use your intuition to be able to disseminate and realize what's important, what's not important, what's not really the case, and what really is the case, so that you can do or create whatever it is you need to create for yourself. Okay. So we have this secondary card. We have the 8 of air, and the 8 of air, again, this is thinking, this is communicating. These two cards are basic communicating, and this is Libra Gemini energy. Okay. This is air, swords. So you have to be careful. This is someone who's in a situation that they feel like they can't get out of, even though the door is open, even though they have all the tools they need to get themselves out of this situation. This is something that is ruled by, well, I've been in this situation for so long, I can't get out of it. And then you have someone else coming, but you can't get out of it because there's the door, there's the window. You can walk away, but they're afraid to walk away because of what they're thinking. It's their thinking. It's your thinking. It's the thinking around you that's saying, well, we're stuck here, so we may as well just, sit here and just, deal. When you don't have to. You don't have to. It's all in how you leave the situation at the end of the day. And we all want to leave situations better than what we found them. We want to have things in a way that if we had to go back to it for whatever reason, then we can go back to it knowing that we can leave again. It is all up to you. You're the one, or the person is the person that's coming to you with this information or whatever. They are the ones, you are the ones, depending on how it is, that's saying that you can't get out of it, when indeed you can. You can get out of any situation that you want to. It's how you think that's the key. And when you think that you can't, well, you can't, because you won't even try. And the whole thing is to try to see the issue as something that you can get yourself out of, because if you got yourself in, then you can find your way out. There's nothing that you can't find your way out of. It's all in how you think about the situation. Air is air. Air can blow left, it can blow right, it can blow down, it can blow up, because it can go anywhere. So with that being said, it's all in how you think. It's all about perspective. Perspective is just where you stand in the room. If you're standing by the door and you see the door is open, you can walk out. If you're standing across the room and you see the door is open, then you can walk across the room and you can walk out. I hope that makes sense. So let's get the bottom of this deck to see what is driving this. And we've got water. We've got the Four of Water. Okay. And this is someone who has missed opportunities. This is someone who is bored. This is someone who can't make a decision because of how they're feeling about a situation. Meaning, well, you know, I could do this and I could do that, but, you know, I just don't know. I mean, I could, because 4 is 2 on one side and 2 on the other. You're trying to balance everything out, but at the same time, you're complaining about having to do the balancing. You're complaining about the what ifs. You're complaining about the maybes. You're complaining about what somebody might think about what you're doing, when in fact, you have all these opportunities either way that can get you out of your situation. You have opportunities that can help you get out of the situation. You just have to be able to disseminate and use your intuition in order to find your way out. Okay, so let's get a advice card to see how it ties in. At the end of the day, we have to make decisions based on what we think is best for us. However, at the same time, we may have people, places, things, and situations that are showing us the opportunities that we have. But at the same time, those opportunities are not going to stay there long, because eventually they're going to say, well, you know what? I sat here and I listened to you and I gave you every option under the sun, and you still want to say you're stuck when you're not. I'm clearly showing you opportunities. I'm clearly giving you these things that you can get yourself out. But you're thinking, because of the illusion or delusion, because of some big, bad, scary fill in the blank, that it's not really big, bad, and scary. It's just an illusion. It's just an illusion. Or you're deluding yourself, because illusions is what's being shown to you by perception, and delusion is what you think when it's not real. You're deluding yourself into thinking you can't get out of your situation. You're deluding yourself to thinking that you don't have any opportunities that can help you get out of your situation. You're deluding yourself. And with that Mars in retrograde, it doesn't say sit there and just take whatever. It says to slow down. Slow down means you can still move. You just go slower. It doesn't say stop. It didn't say don't do. It says slow down and look at the fine details of an event, of a social gathering, of something that may be happening between you and your siblings, something that happened in the past that you can use. Go back and look at it to see how you can use it. And the card that we got out of this is yin and yang. Balance. Let's go find out what that has to say. And we're on page 69. And it says passive, active, intuitive, logical. Passive, active, intuitive, logical. And it's in the upright position. This card represents energetic life cycles, and its purpose is to help you identify the particular cyclic energy moving into or out of your experience. In its upright position, it heralds a yin cycle, where most of the action seems to be happening under the surface of things. This is a time of great receptivity, intuition, and gestation. External circumstances may be forcing you to go within and examine present activity. It's an especially good time for completion, so wrap things up. Yin cycles often call you to be passive, yielding, and reflective. So open up to these sides of your nature. Being more than acting is the intention here. So this lines right on up with what we're talking about. Sometimes you have to see the opportunities so that you can act when you can, but you can't sit there and just delude yourself into thinking that you can't move. You can move. Just look at the things that you can use around you. Review those things, see how you can apply them. And when it's time for you to act, you move. Fully act. There are certain things you can do right now. So when it's time to fully move, you're ready to move and do. Okay? Don't allow your thinking to tell you that you can't move. And don't delude yourself into thinking or feeling that there's something out there that's keeping you sitting there stuck. You have opportunities, you have people, you have places, you have things that you can use that can help you get prepared to move. You don't have to do it all in one go. See, Aries is about moving quickly and let's go now. And sometimes you can't just go now. You have to plan. It's good to have the initiative, and that's the fire energy. Yes, have the initiative. Start planning. Start thinking about what you can do. Start getting that information together so you can disseminate it so you can get ready to move when it's time. You have to be right now. Being means that you take in information, you look at it, you review it, you line it up, and you see what's best for you. So when it's time to move, you can move. Use your intuition first, and then use your intellect to act at the right time. So I hope this resonated with you. I hope you all have a great week this week. Thank you for stopping by. As always, I am the Air Goddess. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon.